President Obama is at the site of the 9/11 attacks at Ground Zero in New York tonight, marking the death of Osama bin Laden. He's been meeting first responders and has laid a wreath laying at the site. But the symbolism of the visit is still overshadowed by the White House's refusal to publish photos of the dead al-Qaeda leader. The president warned to do so would threaten US national security and would be used as a propaganda tool. He said, "That's not who we are." Our Washington correspondent Sarah Smith is in New York. Sarah.
John, this is the first time that Obama has been to Ground Zero as president, and it's a visit that he described as a bittersweet moment. A few minutes ago, we saw a brief, solemn and largely silent ceremony as the president laid a red, white and blue wreath in the middle of the site. Obama didn't say anything. There were no speeches. He was very careful to try and make sure that it didn't look as though he was trying to use this visit for political gain. He did, though, embrace some relatives of 9/11 victims, and he told them that he was here to acknowledge the burden that all of them have been carrying for nearly 10 years now. At a fire station that lost 15 men on 9/11, Obama is hailed as the guy who got Osama. And he says he hopes that will help bring New York some closure.
Well, what happened on Sunday, because of the courage of our military and the outstanding work of our intelligence, sent a message around the world, but also sent a message here back home that when we say we will never forget, we mean what we say. And our commitment to making sure that justice was done is something that transcended politics, transcended party. We were going to make sure that the perpetrators of that horrible act, that they receive justice.
At Ground Zero today, you can see the footprints of where the Twin Towers stood. These will be pools of water when the memorial is completed and new office towers finally rebuilt. Everything has changed from the day George W. Bush came here just after 9/11.
I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knocked these buildings down will hear all of us soon.
Bush was invited to come today, but he declined. This is a very different president who is doing things his way, resolute in his decision not to release the gruesome photographs of bin Laden's corpse.
It is important for us to make sure that very graphic photos of somebody who was shot in the head are not floating around as an incitement to additional violence, as a propaganda tool. That's not who we are.
Details of exactly what happened inside bin Laden's compound still keep changing, allowing opponents to attack what should have been a flawless story of success. Now we know, as Navy SEALs entered the compound, there was no prolonged firefight, just small arms fire from one man. He was shot. The other men and one woman killed were all unarmed, including bin Laden himself, who was wearing his pajamas. While the wreckage of the helicopter left behind reveals new stealth technology, quieter rotor blades and a sharply angled body to confuse radar. Americans do believe bin Laden has been killed and are so pleased that the changing details about how it happened matter far less than the fact that it did.
Sarah, the question of the photographs. Now, a lot of people have tweeted saying, well, look, he may not want to show the pictures of these mangled face. Why don't they use the head camera, which presumably saw him before then? Will the president, in short, be able to hold the line on not publishing anything?
Obviously, there's a lot of pressure on the White House. I have to say, most of it's coming internationally and not inside America. Some people have said they want to see the photographs. Some 9/11 victims' families have said that they think the photographs should be published to prove to the world that Osama is dead. But there's not the kind of build-up of feeling about it here in America that there is in the rest of the world. So that relieves the pressure on the president slightly. You're right that they may have to release something. We understand that there are pictures, maybe even video, of Osama's body being lowered off the USS Vincent into the water. There may be pictures from the head cams from the Navy SEALs, who are now all back in the United States. It may be that they have to produce something at some point, but they are resolute. It will not be the gruesome photo of bin Laden's corpse.
Sarah Smith in New York.